What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with the Before You Summon video. You know what this is, guys. We have a new banner coming in with Ryu and Lili. Let's go ahead and jump into it, because this really, like, is not, there's a lot to talk about here, especially with Ryu, so I'm actually going to talk about Lili first, because I've got a lot of thoughts about Ryu. Lili's pretty straightforward, okay? Lili is an assist. She's got 1,000, well, pretty close to 1,000 HP. Like, give her, like, the smallest, just the vaguest scintilla of CP, and she'll be at 1,000 HP. So that's a very good unit, like, very good stat there. Physical and magic, they leave a little bit to be desired, if I'm honest, but she got great dex stat. So, you know, all around, she's not a bad unit. I'm not mad about this unit. Agility does leave a bit to be desired, but let's face it, she's all about her skill here. The skill is foes, water resist down 20%. This is the first water resistance we've had down 20%. And I've often been critical when it's just one element resist. I often like to see double element resistances, but this is our first 20% water resistance. And being that this is the first, being that this is, you know, the one, we are not likely to see another one of these that does water resistance down 20% for quite a bit of time. So if you've got a stellar water team, it's a good opportunity to go after this unit. She also has guard rate down 20%, and this is what I really like about her. Sounds weird, sounds crazy weird, but allies 100% slow resistance. Why do I like this? Okay, I know that has the war game element to it, and that's really nice. Honestly, I think people do more agility debuffing in Wargame than a lot of, like, the slow ailments, and we honestly have enough, like, anti-ailment in general. I'm not worried about a slow ailment in Wargame. What I like this for is Record Buster. Sounds weird, but follow me here. You have enough Record Buster foes that actually do a slow element on you, or ailment on you, and when they do so, oftentimes when you get to, like, turn 12, you survived with, like, you know, a little sliver of health. Sometimes slow is the difference between getting in a heal and surviving, or getting straight up murdered because your opponent is faster than you. So I adore this. All allies 100% slow resist. Actually, strangely enough, I'm normally against this when it comes to ailments. I like this, especially with the water resistance. I think this is a really nice unit. Now let's talk about the iris cost, because I don't know about you guys, I'm chilling on about 6,000 iris right now. I'm just about ready for part 3, which is incoming in 2 or 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks, I think, is when it's coming in. So, no, 2 weeks, because it is the 11th. So 2 weeks from today, I believe part 3 is, no, maybe it's 3. I don't know, math hard. Either way, you've got, let's just say for the sake of argument, 2 weeks to prepare to have your 8,000 iris. So I've got 2,000 iris to obtain in 2 weeks. Now that's doable. It's fairly simple, so long as I'm able to rank pretty highly in the next Record Buster in the next war game. I'll be fine. I'm not really concerned about that. I'm totally good on that. Now, here's the thing. And since I am re-recording this, I will also say Undertale Skira, though it doesn't really have a huge amount of bearing on this, but Undertale Skira, since we are talking potential ailment resistances, is about to get postponed. They don't have a date on the postponement, but it is getting postponed, so just be aware of that if that's part of your decision-making here. Though I would say Undertale Skira is probably secondary still to Wargame because it doesn't have, like, an iris payout to it. But I do like this unit now, but I've got to ask myself, is it worth spending free-to-play iris that I really need for the upcoming banners? Because remember, we're going to get 2 banners when part 3 drops and a potential 3rd time-limited banner a week or 2 after that happens. So, is it worth possibly losing out on some of those summons? I'm going to be honest, I really don't think so. I like this unit a lot, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I might get one just in the general chase, because also bear in mind, we are going to get a 3-star ticket for this. You'll hear about that in the data mine video that'll drop here in a couple of hours. But we are getting a 3-star ticket for either one of these units. Now, you might not get one at all in that. You might get lucky and get one of each. Who knows? But you have a free-to-play chance at acquiring one of these units. So maybe before you actually go crazy and start summoning on this, see what your 3-star ticket yields, if anything, and then consider what you're doing. Now, I do like Lili a lot, but I'm going to be honest. The extra 5% that I get out of here, well, and I've talked about this before, 5% is massive on the assist side. It is a huge difference in damage between what she's going to do with 20% water resist and what 15% water resist from, like, Ducky Hesty or something like that is going to do. It's a huge, huge, huge difference. I, personally, because I want to save my Iris, I think I'm going to be fine with Ducky Hestia for now. I might grab one. We'll see. I will do at least a few summons tonight on stream, but I'm not going to go crazy for Lili. Now, let's talk about Ryu, because Ryu's an interesting situation. Now, Ryu is a magic type, so HP at 3682 is about the expectation. I would prefer it to be a little higher. My goal is always 4K. Now that we've actually seen that before, like, I would love to see more in that realm. But to be fair, that unit is a crazy good tank. So, 3682 is a respectable HP. Little on the squishy side, especially with defense below 500. Little on the squishy side, but a magic stat at 2000 is really, really, really nice. So all around, just a good built, well-rounded magic unit. Nothing too crazy, nothing overly exceptional. She is Dark Element, and worth noting, both these units are not time limited. So there will come a point in time, very soon I would imagine, that they're going to be adjusted and dropped in the general pool. So do bear that in mind. If you don't grab them today, you're going to have an opportunity later with just the 3-star and 2-star tickets that we acquire for, like, everything. So that is one of the considerations you might want to make. Now, let's look at what Ryu does, because I think this warrants a good amount of discussion. Okay? Skill 1, and this is the big one. This is the one I'm going to harp on for quite a bit of time. Skill 1, foes, plural. So you already know she's a wargame unit. Fast, strength, magic, agility, physical resist, and magic resist, all down 30%. With allies, strength, magic, agility, physical resist, magic resist, all up 30%. It's a really good skill. It's a phenomenal skill. 90 MP cost means she's not going to do it insanely often. In fact, notice that while skill 1's a 90 MP cost, skill 2's a 71 MP cost. Notice that her MP is only 411. You need a lot of MP for her, and you're going to need some MP regen to really make her work in the long run. That said, before I get to that, notice this is non-elemental. Like, skill 1 is non-elemental, okay? So it's literally just an attack. And it is a fast skill, which means it's going to go before any of the general skills. So she's going to be an early attacker. And because this is a major buff and debuff all built into one, let's talk about Wargame. Doesn't matter what you have her set to. That's going to go first. Like, literally, you could have her set to, the only thing that you could set her to that wouldn't make that go off first is single target. And why would you do that? Set her to balance, she's going to do that first. Set her to buff, she's going to do that first. Set her to debuff, she's going to do that first. Oh, no, I take that back. I take it back. If you set her to buff, she'll actually do skill 2 first. We learned this last night on stream. I hadn't actually done any testing on the buff debuff setting versus the new actions, but apparently when you set a unit to buff, anything that has additional actions set to it, like skill 2 does, will actually go off with buff. So I stand corrected. If it's set to buff, skill 2 will go off first. Skill 2, interestingly, foes, plural, fast, high, dark magic attack with ultra on guard rate. Self dark attack damage plus 80% for 4 turns, and 4 additional actions, foes, low dark magic attack with dark resist down 40% for 4 turns. This unit is exceptional for the Dark Team, which still needs a lot of love. Dark Team needs some help. Dark Team still is just not great. They're getting there. Slowly they're getting there. And I do suspect at some point here in the near future, we're going to start getting some big buffs on the Dark Team. Usually Dark Team gets a good buff around October time, and we might get some. Yeah, I said it last year. We might get some of the villains. We might get some of the villains this year. Who knows? But I think Dark is due for a big, big, big buff. When that happens, this unit is going to be exceptional. But I'll get to my butt here in a moment. Skill 3. I'm going to go back to Skill 1. Trust me, I'm not done with Skill 1. Skill 3 is a high dark magic attack with ultra penetration rate, temporary great magic boost. You're never going to use that. That is wasted skill. She might as well not have a Skill 3. Her SA is foes plural ultra dark magic attack with ultra unguard rate, great temporary magic boost. That's very nice. Strength, magic, agility, physical resist, magic resist, all down 50%. So a great debuff on her SA. I mean, a phenomenal debuff on her SA. And I do see... We'll get to that in here in a minute. We'll get to that in here in a minute. We'll get to that here in a minute. Okay. When countering, instead of attacking, she's going to extend foes' debuffs by 1 turn, which is really nice. I'll explain why you might not use that terribly often, though, here in just a moment. She has 35% light resistance, 35% magic agility and dex, 50% damage on critical and penetration, and 20% physical and magic resistance. She's a really good tank, with the exception she doesn't have a lot of health or defense. But she has a ton of physical and magic resistance. Now, there are 2 big ways, aside from the obvious, like, you know, skill 2, skill 1, and then spam skill 2 again, or even 1, and then spam skill 2, however you want to build this unit out to do that. Aside from the general use for her, I see 2 very popular alternative uses coming. She is going to be a very popular, like, level 1, skill 1 sack in Wargame. Basically, she's going to come out of the gate, do skill 1, get all those buffs and all those debuffs, just get them in there. The nice part about that is the strength of magic really isn't like crazy insane buff, but being a fast buff, a lot of your units that might not have strength of magic right out of the gate will get that buff and then hit a little bit harder. Plus with agility buff, that means anybody that's going back behind her, anybody, because remember, when you're talking about sacking this unit, you're going to keep her at like level 1, maybe level 40 or something like that. You're only worried about skill 1 at that juncture. So she's going to go late, probably very last in the fast units, but after that, all the units that don't have the fast skill start going, and they're going to basically reap the benefits of those debuffs and those buffs. So very, very, very popular sack unit for Wargame incoming. All right, I will say that right away. Now, the other major use for her is as an SA sack. Those of you guys that sack Winnie for her SA turn 3, turn 4, let her get her off her SA and then die, especially in like Wrecker Buster or something like that. This unit's going to be interesting. At level 60, I think you'd have to get to level 60 to do it. Maybe. We'll have to play around with it, I think. She's going to be pretty awesome. Because when you're in a Record Buster or Familia event or something like that, where the debuffs are not cleared, I want to emphasize that, she's going to be really awesome to get like a crazy quick SA off and then let her keel over. So basically bring her in turn 2, turn 3, survive turn 2, turn 3 do the SA, and then croak her. There are ways you can do that. It's a fast build, but there are ways to do that. Especially on like Water Team. Water Team would probably be the fastest way to make that happen. Hence why she's really interesting that she's launched with Lili, because Lili is a buff for the Water Team. I'm not going to explain how that's a thing. I'll just say go look at your Water Teams. Go look at go look at the Water Teams in the album. Lot of 100% SA gauge charge in there. A lot of it. So, I know she's a dark unit, but I really see her used in that respect. Turn 3, turn 4, she'll get that out. She'll croak. She'll be very useful in that regard. Now, does that mean she's going to be no good if she's like completely bonded out? Doesn't mean she's not going to be any good bonded out. It just means, like, for the time being, with the Dark Team lacking some of the power that they frankly need, I just don't see her being used for that. So if I were you, 100%, I would choose what I want to do with her. Do I want to do War Game Sack, or do I want to do SA Sack? It's a tough call. I probably would say War Game Sack, because you can do War Game Sack with her at level 1 and get some crazy good results out of that. Just throwing that knowledge nugget at you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. So here's what I would do. Here's how I would handle this situation. Personally, do the 11 draw ticket, hopefully get one of her, and walk away. If you do not, maybe do a summon or 2, but don't go crazy. Do not go above like 1200. I wouldn't even go that deep. Like, do 1 summon, do the guarantee. 'Cause remember, the first draw is guaranteed to be a new unit. Hopefully you get her. If you don't, walk away with your head held high. That's my recommendation. That's what I'm personally... I might do some extra summons, but that's just... I'm an entertainer. I've got to do some of that stuff. So I got to make my decision on that, guys. But remember, 2 weeks' time, you better have 8,000 Iris. And you better be on your way to getting another 4,000 Iris before the villain banners drop for part 3. Just make certain you're making intelligent decisions, okay? That's the best thing, my number 1 caveat to that. That's going to be the video. Like, comment, share all the good stuff, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And the live stream tonight. Don't forget, live stream at 9 p.m. this evening, Eastern time, whatever the hell that is your time. I don't know. I don't know you. We ain't like dead. Sorry.